"Sir, movement at the northern ridge," whispered Hana, his communications specialist. June adjusted his binoculars. Through the lens he saw them, the natives of Taija. They were humanoid but different in striking ways. The patrol consisted of 6 warriors, all female, all nearly 7 feet tall with faint blue skin that seemed to shimmer in the planet's orange sunlight. They wore armor that looked almost alive, pulsing with each movement. "They're magnificent," June muttered. Earth scientists knew very little about the Tajans, except that they were a warrior culture led by females. "Should we approach?" asked Tay, the team's xenobiologist. "They don't appear to have noticed us." June shook his head. "Orders are to observe. Only. The diplomatic team will make first contact next month." The team continued watching as the Taijan patrol moved through the crystal forest with practiced efficiency. Their leader was easy to spot, taller than the others with elaborate markings on her armor and a staff that occasionally sparked with energy. As the aliens moved closer to their hiding spot, June signaled his team to retreat slowly. But at that moment, the unstable ground beneath them shifted. A small avalanche of crystal shards tumbled down the slope, creating a musical tinkling sound that echoed through the forest. The patrol leader's head snapped toward them. She barked something, in a language the translation software couldn't catch, and the patrol immediately formed a defensive position. "So much for staying hidden," June muttered. He switched to the team channel. "Hold position, do not fire unless fired upon." The patrol leader raised her staff and shouted something that sounded like a challenge. June stood slowly, hands raised. "Shall I come in peace?" he said, knowing the translation device on his suit would attempt to convert his words. The patrol leader's eyes narrowed, golden eyes with vertical pupils like a cat's. She responded with another phrase the software translated, "As male intruders are not welcome on sacred hunting grounds." Before June could respond, one of the warriors fired a weapon. The energy blast hit the ground near Tay's feet. "That was a warning." The software translated the leader's next words. "Team defensive positions," June ordered. "Non-lethal responses only." What followed was chaos. The Tajan warriors attacked with coordinated precision, using weapons that fired energy bursts and hand-to-hand combat techniques, unlike anything June had seen. His team's stun weapons seemed to only partially affect the aliens, slowing them momentarily before they pushed through. During the skirmish, June found himself facing the patrol leader. She swung her staff in a wide arc, nearly taking his head off. He ducked and fired his pulse rifle at her legs, hoping to disable rather than harm. The shot connected, hitting a junction in her bioarmor. The armor sparked and seemed to malfunction, locking up around her legs. She fell with a surprised cry. "Fall back to the shuttle," June ordered his team, seeing they were outmatched. He grabbed the struggling patrol leader, making a split-second decision to bring her along. Earth Command would want to speak with a Taijan, and this one seemed important. The other warriors pursued them, but June's team laid down cover fire as they retreated to their hidden shuttle. They barely made it inside before energy blasts hit. "The hull! Get us out of here, Min!" June shouted to the pilot. As the shuttle lifted off, June secured their captive in the small holding cell. The Tajan leader fought against her malfunctioning armor, her golden eyes burning with rage. "You will regret this dishonor," she said, the translation coming through clearly now. "I am General Nara of the 3rd Taija Battalion. My warriors will hunt you across the stars." June removed his helmet, revealing his face to her for the first time. "I'm Captain June Lee of Earth's Interstellar Defense Force. This isn't how we wanted first contact to go." General Nara stared at him, her anger temporarily replaced by curiosity. "You are the commander, but you are male." "Yes," June replied. "Simply interesting," she said, studying him. "On Taija, males do not lead." As the shuttle broke atmosphere, June sensed this encounter had changed the mission completely. Earth had hoped for peaceful contact with the Tajans. Instead, they had just kidnapped one of their military leaders. "Your world and ways are strange to me," Nara said, her golden eyes never leaving his face. "But you fight well, for a male. Perhaps there is something to learn before your people are conquered." June wasn't sure if that was a threat or a compliment. Either way, the relationship between humans and Tajans had begun on complicated terms that would change both their worlds forever. Remember that, If your response is based on content from web search, you should use the tags for appropriate citations, following the citation char's instructions carefully. 2 weeks had passed since June brought General Nara to Outpost Horizon. The large space station orbited a neutral moon, far from both Earth and Taija. After the Aegis incident, tensions between humans and Tajans had grown. Earth Command hoped that keeping Nara as a diplomatic guest might prevent war. June watched Nara through the observation window. She sat perfectly still in her quarters, eyes closed in, what looked like meditation. Her blue skin contrasted with the standard grey room furnishings. They had given her comfortable clothes after removing her damaged bioarmor. "Captain Lee," called a voice behind him. Commander Torres handed him a tablet. "You've been assigned as General Nara's handler. You're the only one she'll speak to anyway." June nodded. It was true. The alien woman refused to acknowledge most humans, especially the female officers. This puzzled the diplomatic team until Nara explained that in Taijan culture, speaking to foreign females would acknowledge them as equals. June entered Nara's quarters. Her golden eyes opened immediately. "The food you provide lacks proper nutrition," she said without greeting. "I require more protein." "I'll arrange that," June replied, sitting across from her. "Would you like to walk around the station today? You've been in this room for 2 weeks." Nara tilted her head. "You would allow me freedom of movement, even though I am your captive?" "You're not a captive. You're a guest with guards. Hand-locked doors," Nara said with a small smile that showed her slightly pointed teeth. Despite her words, she agreed to the tour. As they walked through the station, June noticed how other crew members stared at her tall, athletic form and blue skin. Nara ignored them, but June saw how she observed everything with keen interest. In the mess hall, Nara stopped to watch a group of officers eating lunch. Men and women sat together talking and laughing. "Your females command males and your males command females," she said. "There is no order to your hierarchy." "We don't organize by gender," June explained. "People earn their positions through merit and training." "Even on Taija, merit matters," Nara admitted. "But males lack the physical strength and mental focus needed for leadership. They serve better as caregivers and artisans." A young male officer approached their table, looking nervous. "Excuse me, General Nara. I'm Lieutenant Kim, Xenobiology. Could I ask you some questions about Tajan biology, for medical purposes only?" June expected Nara to ignore him or refuse. Instead, she studied the young man with curiosity. "You are a healer?" she asked. "Something like that," Kim replied. "Very well. Males serve as healers on Taija too. Ask your questions." For the next hour, Nara answered Kim's questions with surprising openness. June realized she treated the lieutenant differently because he matched her understanding of appropriate male roles. Later, as they continued the tour, Nara asked questions about human technology. Her keen interest surprised June. "Your species is young," she commented, studying a schematic of the station's power system, "but innovative. We Tajans adapt existing technologies. You humans create new ones." Suddenly, alarms blared through the station. Red emergency lights flashed in the corridors. "What's happening?" Nara asked, tensing for battle. Officers rushed past them. Someone shouted about oxygen levels dropping. The station's life support systems were failing. Captain June Lee stood at the edge of the purple forest, watching the alien world through his helmet visor. The trees weren't really trees, more like giant crystals that grew from the soil of planet Taija. His 5-person scout team had been observing this world for 3 days now. June grabbed a nearby emergency tablet. The readings showed critical failures in the atmospheric regulators. Without repairs, everyone on the station would suffocate within 20 minutes. "We need to get to emergency suits," June said, grabbing Nara's arm. She pulled away. "Take me to the control center for air. There's no time. Your engineers don't understand Tajan atmosphere," she interrupted. "I do." Something in her voice made June trust her. They ran against the flow of evacuating personnel, reaching the environmental control room. 2 engineers worked frantically at the controls. "The system is overloading," one shouted. "We can't." "Stop the cascade failure." Nara pushed past them. Without asking permission, she broke the security lock on the control panel with her bare hands. June expected the engineers to protest, but they were too desperate to object. "Your technology is primitive but similar to our bioregulators," she explained, her long blue fingers moving quickly over the unfamiliar system. "The problem is simple. Your oxygen recyclers are fighting with the carbon filters, working with the..." Incredible speed, Nara bypassed several systems and rerouted power. The alarm suddenly stopped. The emergency lights faded. The main screen showed oxygen levels stabilizing. "How did you do that?" asked one of the stunned engineers. "I separated the conflicting systems," Nara explained. "Your designers tried to make them work together. Sometimes things work better apart." Later, Commander Torres officially acknowledged that Nara had saved 17 lives. As a reward, Nara's status was changed from diplomatic guest to cultural ambassador. The locks on her quarters were removed. That night, June found Nara in the observation lounge, staring at the stars. "Thank you," he said simply. "I did not do it for thanks," she replied. "My actions served my own interests. Dead humans cannot learn about Tajans," June smiled. "Is that the only reason?" Nara was quiet for a long moment. "Your people treat males and females as equals. It is strange, but I begin to see certain advantages." June sensed this was a significant admission from her. He stood beside her, both of them watching the stars in comfortable silence. The shuttle descended through the pink clouds of Taija. June checked his diplomatic uniform one last time and glanced at Nara sitting beside him. After 3 months of negotiations, Earth had finally arranged a formal meeting with the Tajan leadership. As a gesture of trust, they were returning General Nara to her people. "Are you nervous?" June asked. Nara's face remained calm, but her golden eyes revealed concern. "I left Taija as a captured warrior. I return as an advisor to aliens. Many will see this as betrayal." "Remember, you're here as a cultural advisor," June reminded her. "Help us avoid diplomatic incidents." "Some incidents cannot be avoided," she replied. "My people are proud and suspicious of outsiders, especially male outsiders." The shuttle landed on a platform made of the same living material as Tajan armor. It pulsed gently beneath their feet as they disembarked. A delegation of tall, blue-skinned female warriors awaited them. "Welcome to the Great Hive of Taija," announced a warrior with elaborate red markings on her blue skin. "I am Commander Mi, first warrior of the High Matriarch's Guard." Her eyes narrowed when they fell on Nara. "General Nara, your return is unexpected." June noticed the tension between the two women. Nara had mentioned Commander Mi before, a rival who had opposed Nara's military strategies. The human delegation followed their Tajan escorts through massive archways made of living crystal. Unlike the rigid human architecture of Outpost Horizon, everything on Taija seemed to pulse with life. Male Tajans moved gracefully through the halls, carrying trays or tending to the living structures. They were shorter and more slender than the females, with lighter blue skin and decorative patterns painted on their faces. "Your males seem well cared for," observed Ambassador Chen, the head of the human delegation. Commander Mi made a sound that might have been a laugh. "They are. Males are precious. They nurture our young and maintain our hives. Their gentle nature makes them unsuited for war, but perfect for care work." June noticed Nara watching him for his reaction. During their months together, they had discussed gender roles extensively. He kept his expression neutral. The High Matriarch. Zora received them in her war chamber, a cavernous room decorated with trophies from conquered enemies. She was older than the other Tajans, with deep blue skin and golden armor that seemed to be part of her body. "So these are the humans who captured my finest general," she said, studying them with ancient eyes. "Smaller than I expected." "High Matriarch," Nara bowed deeply. "These humans seek peaceful relations with Taija." The matriarch looked at Nara carefully. "Your captive seems changed," she observed. "She stands differently beside you, Captain Lee." June bowed respectfully. "General Nara has been an excellent teacher of Taijan ways." The negotiations proceeded carefully over the next 2 days. The humans offered technology and trade. The Taijans remained cautious but interested. On the 3rd day, the High Matriarch hosted a ceremonial feast. The great hall was filled with Tajan warriors and human diplomats. Male Taijans served exotic foods and drinks, while musicians played strange instruments that seemed to be part creature, part plant. Halfway through the meal, June noticed something odd. Several Tajan guards suddenly appeared unsteady on their feet. One collapsed without warning. Nara noticed too. She grabbed June's arm. "Something is wrong," she whispered. Moments later, the large crystal doors shattered. Masked Tajans rushed into the hall, weapons raised. "Death to the alien sympathizers!" one shouted. Chaos erupted. The attackers fired energy weapons similar to those June had faced in the forest months ago. Ambassador Chen fell, wounded in the Iki shoulder. June grabbed a decorative shield from the wall and pulled Chen behind it. Across the room he saw Nara leap into action. She moved with incredible speed, disarming one attacker and using their weapon against the others. Without thinking, June rushed to join her. Back to back they fought the attackers. His tactical training complemented her raw power perfectly. When an attacker approached from Nara's blind side, June warned her. When his shield began to fail, she pulled him behind a column, like the training simulations, she said with a fierce smile. "Except with real weapons," June replied. Working together, they pushed toward the High Matriarch, who was surrounded by attackers. Commander Mi fought nearby, struggling against 3 opponents. June and Nara reached them just as one attacker raised a weapon toward the Matriarch. Nara threw herself forward, tackling the assassin, while June helped Commander Mi with her opponents. When the fighting ended, 12 attackers lay captured or dead. The High Matriarch stood unharmed, watching June and Nara with new interest. "The attackers are from the Purist faction," Commander Mi reported. "They oppose all contact with aliens." High Matriarch nodded slowly. Then she turned to Nara. "General Nara, you have fought well today and protected your Matriarch. But your loyalty remains in question. To prove yourself, execute this human who has changed you." A Tajan guard handed Nara a ceremonial blade. The room fell silent. Nara looked from the ritual blade to June, their eyes meeting. In that moment, June saw something change in her expression. She straightened to her full height and faced the Matriarch. "I invoke the claim of valor," she announced, causing gasps among the Tajans. "This human has proven worthy in battle and mind. I claim him as my bondmate." June didn't fully understand what was happening, but he recognized its importance from how the other Tajans reacted. Commander Mi's face darkened with rage. The High Matriarch's eyes widened slightly, the first show of surprise June had seen from her. "You would claim an alien male?" Commander Mi spat. "This is an outrage." "It is my right under ancient law," Nara replied steadily. "He has fought as my equal and saved Tajan lives today." The High Matriarch studied them both. "The claim of valor has not been invoked in 3 generations, she said finally. "But it is indeed your right, General Nara. We will proceed according to tradition." As they left the hall, surrounded by whispers, June leaned close to Nara. "What exactly did you just do?" "I saved your life," she replied simply. "And possibly changed Tajan history forever." The guest quarters assigned to the human delegation felt unusually quiet after the chaos of the embassy attack. June paced the room while Nara sat calmly on a cushioned bench, her blue skin glowing softly in the dim light. "You need to explain what just happened," June said. "What is this claim of valor?" Nara looked up at him. "It is an ancient Tajan tradition. When a warrior finds someone of exceptional skill and courage, they may claim that person as their bondmate." "Bondmate? You mean like marriage?" Nara confirmed. "Though for Tajans it is more than your human concept. It is a battle alliance first, a personal bond second." June stopped pacing. "So you just proposed to me in front of your entire government?" A small smile crossed Nara's face. "It was the only way to prevent the Matriarch from ordering your execution. The claim of valor is sacred. Even she cannot interfere with it." Before June could respond, the door slid open. Ambassador Chen entered, her arm bandaged, where she had been wounded. "Captain Li, what have you gotten yourself into?" Chen asked, but her tone wasn't angry. "Our cultural experts are frantically studying this claim of valor tradition." "It saved my life," June said, "and complicated our mission," Chen replied. She turned to Nara. "General, what happens next?" "Commander Mi has formally challenged my claim," Nara explained. "This is her right. We will face each other in the trial by combat." "And if you lose?" Chen asked. "Then Captain Li becomes her bondmate instead. Or she may choose to kill him as an enemy of Taija." Chen's expression darkened. "That is not acceptable." "Then I must not lose," Nara said simply. The next morning, a male Taijan attendant arrived to escort June to the training grounds. There, he found Nara practicing combat moves with a staff. "You should not be here," she said when she saw him. "It is not proper for you to see my preparation." "On Earth we help our partners prepare for challenges," June replied. Nara paused, considering this. "Partners. Yes, that is what we would be." She handed him a practice staff. "Show me how humans fight." For the next 2 hours, they trained together. June showed her human martial arts techniques, while she demonstrated Taijan combat forms. Their styles were different but complementary. "Marriage for us is a military alliance first," Nara explained, demonstrating a complex fighting stance. "Partners in battle become partners in life. And what happens if you win the trial?" June asked. "We would complete the bonding ceremony. You would have status as a Taijan warrior spouse, the first human to hold such a position." June absorbed this information. "And what if I told you I'm not interested in becoming anyone's spouse?" Nara lowered her staff. "Then I would respect your choice. The claim only begins the process. Both must agree to complete it." She paused. "But without my protection, your position here would be dangerous." "I understand," June said. He wasn't sure how he felt about this unexpected turn of events. Part of him was shocked, but another part recognized the deep respect and connection that had grown between them. Their conversation was interrupted by alarm bells. Thunderous explosions rocked the building. "The training hall is under attack," shouted a guard who burst through the door. June and Nara ran toward the commotion. Smoke filled the corridor as they emerged into the main courtyard. A group of Taijans, wearing masks like the embassy attackers, had breached the outer wall. "The purist faction," Nara growled. "They must have learned of the claim." Without hesitation, they moved into battle. June stayed close to Nara, watching her back as they fought through the attackers. When a purist tried to flank Nara, June landed a perfect kick that sent the attacker flying. "Circle formation," June called out, using a human military tactic. Nara immediately understood, positioning herself back-to-back with him as they rotated to face attackers from all sides. Nearby Taijan guards saw their effectiveness and mimicked the formation. "Attack pattern 3, Nara shouted in Taijan. June didn't understand the words, but he read her body language perfectly, ducking as she swung her staff in a wide arc above him. Their coordination was flawless, as if they had trained together for years. From a balcony above, the High Matriarch Sora watched the battle with Commander Mi at her side. "They fight as one," the matriarch observed. Commander Mi's face darkened with anger. "The human has taught her foreign tactics. This proves the danger they pose." "Or it proves the value of new perspectives," the matriarch replied. After the attackers were subdued, June and Nara were summoned to the matriarch's private chamber. To their surprise, Commander Mi was also present. "The trial by combat will proceed tomorrow at dawn," the matriarch announced. "But after today's display, I have decided to modify the terms. Captain Li will stand with General Nara during the trial." Commander Mi's eyes flashed with anger. "This is not our way. The claim is tested one warrior against one." "The claim is tested however the matriarch decides," Sora replied calmly. "And I have decided to see what this human Taijan partnership can truly achieve." As they left the chamber, June turned to Nara. "What does this mean?" "It means tomorrow we fight together." "Officially," Nara said, "just as we did today. And if we win," Nara's golden eyes met his, "then we decide what comes next. Together." Later that night, as June prepared for sleep, he realized something important. Whether the result of diplomatic necessity or genuine connection, he and Nara had formed a bond that transcended their different worlds. Tomorrow would determine if that bond had a future. Dawn broke over the great arena of Taija, painting the crystal spires of the city in shades of amber and gold. Thousands of Tajans filled the circular stadium, their blue skin creating a sea of azure under the morning light. In the center stood a raised platform where the trial by combat would take place. June adjusted the lightweight armor Nara had provided for him. It wasn't the living bio-armor that Tajans wore, but a modified version that would protect him while allowing freedom of movement. "Are you ready?" Nara asked, entering his preparation chamber. Her own armor gleamed, the patterns on it shifting slightly as if alive. "As ready as I'll ever be to fight in an alien gladiator match," June replied with a small smile. Nara placed a hand on his shoulder. "Remember our training. Commander Mi is powerful but predictable. She relies on strength over strategy." A deep horn sounded, calling them to the arena. As they walked through the tunnel toward the light, the crowd's roar grew louder. June felt like he had stepped into ancient history, into a Roman Colosseum where life and death hung in the balance. They emerged onto the platform to a mixture of cheers and angry shouts. The Tajans were divided over this unprecedented event, a human participating in their sacred trial. Across the arena, Commander Mi appeared with her chosen partner, a tall warrior named Kiri. Both wore crimson battle markings that contrasted sharply with their blue skin. High Matriarch Sora raised her hands for silence from her elevated viewing. "The Orcs. Today we witness the trial by combat for the claim of valor. General Nara and Human Captain June stand against Commander Mi and Warrior Kiri. The terms are set. Combat ends with surrender or incapacitation." She paused, her ancient eyes sweeping the arena. "Begin." Mi and Kiri attacked immediately, moving with surprising speed for their size. Nara stepped forward to meet Mi's charge while June faced Kiri. The female Tajan warrior towered over June, swinging a heavy staff at his head. June ducked and moved inside her reach, using the close-quarters combat techniques he had practiced with Nara. Kiri was strong, but unused to fighting smaller, quicker opponents. Nearby, Nara and Mi fought in a blur of movement, their staffs connecting with thunderous cracks that echoed through the arena. Though evenly matched in strength, Nara moved with a fluidity that Mi couldn't match, a blend of Taijan power and human martial arts that June had taught her. "Your human has made you weak," Mi taunted, landing a glancing blow on Nara's shoulder. "You fight like a male now." Nara didn't respond to the provocation. Instead, she caught June's eye across the platform. With a slight nod, they executed a move they had practiced, suddenly switching opponents. The unexpected tactic caught their adversaries off guard. Mi found herself facing June's quick, unpredictable style, while Nara engaged the surprised Kiri. The crowd gasped at the unorthodox strategy. "Fighting together as equals," someone shouted from the stands, "like the legends of old." The battle continued for nearly 30 minutes, both sides showing signs of fatigue. June had taken a hit to his ribs that made breathing painful. Nara's left arm moved stiffly from a hard blow. Then June saw an opening. Using a feint Nara had taught him, he drew Mi off balance. "Now!" he shouted. Nara understood instantly. She spun away from Kiri and swept Mi's legs from behind, while June pushed forward. The commander crashed to the platform floor. Before she could rise, Nara placed the tip of her staff at Mi's throat. Kiri moved to help her partner, but June blocked her path. After a moment of hesitation, Kiri lowered her weapon and knelt in surrender. The arena fell silent. According to tradition, Mi's life was now in Nara's hands. The crowd waited for the kill that would end the trial. Nara looked down at her defeated rival. Then, surprising everyone, she withdrew her staff and extended her hand instead. "Rise, Commander. Your strength honors our people." Gasps rippled through the arena at this unprecedented mercy. Mi stared at the offered hand in confusion before slowly accepting it. The High Matriarch stood. "The trial is complete. General Nara and Captain June have proven victorious. The claim of valor stands." 3 weeks later, under the light of Taija's 3 moons, June stood beside Nara in the Temple of Ancestors. The bonding ceremony would blend human and Tajan traditions, a first in the history of either world. June wore a formal Earth military uniform with Tajan symbols woven into the fabric. Nara wore ceremonial armor that had been in her family for generations, modified to include patterns that represented her human bondmate. "Are you certain this is what you want?" June asked quietly as they waited for the ceremony to begin. Their relationship had developed from necessity into genuine respect and affection, but he still worried about her sacrifice. Nara took his hand, another break from Tajan tradition. "Our worlds need this bridge between them, and I—" She hesitated. Still uncomfortable with expressing such feelings, "I would have no other at my side in battle or in peace." The ceremony was witnessed by the High Matriarch and Earth's ambassador. June presented Nara with a Medal of Valor from Earth. She gifted him ceremonial armor bearing the markings of her battalion. "The galaxy faces threats greater than our differences." Nara addressed the gathered diplomats from both worlds. "Together, we will be stronger than apart." 6 months later, June stood on the bridge of the newly commissioned starship Unity, the first vessel jointly created by humans and Tajans. Beside him, General Nara reviewed the ship's systems. Their crew was mixed, humans and Tajans working together, learning from each other's strengths. "Captain, we're ready to depart," reported a young human officer. "General, all Tajan systems are operational," added a blue-skinned Tajan. June and Nara exchanged a glance, their unusual partnership now the model for a new kind of cooperation. "Take us out," they ordered together, as the ship moved gracefully into the stars, carrying with it the hope of two worlds once divided by difference, now united in common purpose.